Hey guys, what's up? Jin here with the Gotta Read 'em All Tacoology podcast for all of you to listen to. Uh, it's a tale of two epic homeboys that are co-trainers as they lead you through their Pokemon adventures, reading Pokemon Adventures, the manga. As always, my co-host, Otaku Mike.
Hello, I am the co-host of the Gotta Read 'em All podcast, and we are talking about Pokemon Adventures.
I don't know if you can be all spooky about it just yet. You gotta wait till the next chapter.
I wasn't trying to be spooky.
I
I
thought
was
you were
just
trying
trying
to do
to.
the. I thought you were
I
trying
was
to do
just.
the.
I was just trying to do a voice. Okay, I was trying to be funny.
Hey,
Ha 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 ha.
I have a question because I thought about the last show that we recorded. So, are all of our villains going to at some point be Texas?
I think so, probably.
So you're going to have to get a little like Southern Belle voice going for
I
one
don't
of
know if I can do that.
our Team Rocket females that's coming up.
My name is Team Rocket. Don't touch me.
Right.
No. Yeah.
So
Anyways.
last time we left off with Red getting into a bike race, which is where we're going to start in this chapter. But the synopsis so far of what has happened before is Red has just basically found the SS Anne, found out and fought Lieutenant Surge, was taking Pokemon from the Pokemon fan club, and it has now rescued them and saved everybody basically for this Santa Claus Colonel Sanders pimp figure.
Yeah, he doesn't even get a name.
They just call him the director.
Yeah, he doesn't even get like a name or anything like that.
So, which I kind of wanted to know more about the Alakazamness, but obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah, we're not gonna get Alakazam in this one.
Set. But we do have that. We have where Red basically has saved those Pokemon and gotten them back to their owners, as well as we kind of have a somewhat new teammate on the team at this point, which
Yep.
isn't exactly new, but Poliwhirl evolved into a Poliwrath, and
Yep.
so now we our team has kind of differed a little bit more and become more kind of amazing, I guess you would say.
For all the Pokemon he's supposedly caught right now, he's caught like the Fearow and the Bellsprout and whatnot. He has not used those whatsoever. He's still
That's
only
true.
using 3 Pokemon.
That's true. Well, I mean, the other thing is, if we really know anything about it, I mean, remember before on the one thing, before he saved Bill or found Bill, he had
Uh-huh.
like, I don't know, like 20 Pokeballs on him.
Yeah.
So even
'Cause
if we do count Bellsprout and, uh, well, he didn't even have, what's his face yet? He didn't have the last one that he caught that we were talking about. So he would have only had Bellsprout, so that leaves place for like 16 more Pokemon. Where are those guys at?
he had Fearow. He got Fearow in that chapter.
But that's what I'm saying. He didn't have it at the beginning of the chapter.
True.
So we only know that he had, of the 20 Pokeballs he had, he had 16 that he didn't have anything in
Yeah.
that we know of.
Yeah.
So I kind of really wonder what all he actually has caught, because at the end of the book in the Pokédex, it does say that he's caught a Caterpie, Metapod, and Butterfree. But
Yeah, I
did he
think
catch all
he's
of those individually, or did he
I,
catch one and evolve it, or what?
I think maybe he evolved it or caught it, but we don't see him catch one of those,
Right.
Like
So
we never see him catch those.
just using our tips from all around the rest of the manga.
Yeah.
So anyway, we are covering chapter 12, for y'all, and that's "Wake Up, You're Snorlax." So, and this is
I,
actually one of the better chapters, I would have to say, especially because my co-host is a big Snorlax fan.
I like Snorlax. I like bears.
Wants to get
Snorlax
his
is
cuddles on. You
Snorlax is
know,
a bear.
we'll have to cuddle that. We'll have to cuddle that. Fuck. Uh, we'll have to cover that at some point, like what our top six Pokemon would be that we would have on a team. Because I
Oh, that's
really
hard.
feel like you could have a Snorlax and an Ursaring on
Which
your
one's
team.
Ursaring?
The big grizzly bear guy from season 2
Oh, I
from
like that
Johto.
new one. That new one that's like that little panda bear.
Oh yeah,
The one he has like the grass sticking out of his mouth, I think.
yeah, and he evolves. So all your guys would be bears or
I I I,
koalas or something like
I
that.
caught him the other day while playing Pokemon.
Oh, is he on your team?
Yeah, he's on my team.
Okay,
He's my Snorlax replacement right now.
we'll have to. That would be cool. We might have to figure out play our games a little more, and then maybe restart and have a side little otaku unwind thing every week.
I
That's
I
not
caught
otaku
him.
unwind.
I caught
We'll call it
him.
Pokemon gaming. What you do this week?
No, I'm not. I don't want to do one of those. I mean, we could just do that in the unwind episode. Honestly, like, yeah.
That would be covering a whole month's worth of us playing, though.
I mean, so I don't
I
play that
mean,
often.
after a week, it would be like, "Oh, where are you at? Oh, well, I'm fighting the Elite Four. Damn
I
it,
don't. I don't. I
Jin!
don't. I don't play that often.
Damn it, Jin! I'm gonna need you to back off playing
I just
some."
have. I just happened to. I played like for like 30 minutes last night, and I caught one. So
Yeah.
I don't. I
Oh,
don't. I
so
don't. I don't play for like hours on end.
we're gonna put a time constraint on it. You can only play 30 minutes.
Well, I was sitting, waiting for you
Yeah.
so we could fucking podcast, and you never showed up.
Yeah. Woo!
A-
Podcast.
Anyways, let's get into this before I start getting upset with you. Start us off.
So we have Red. The gun has already fired or whatever. They're all taking off on their bikes, trying to get to the end of the course, which is kind of a weird one that we've seen so far. And we have seen that uh, there was a 30. What's the currency here? Would you say it's probably yen?
It's something like that.
Because they don't actually say it.
They don't
He
say it
just
until
says,
later. It's a prize money.
yeah. Because in this one, he just says 30 smackers for an entry fee.
Yeah, he paid $30 for an entry fee, and
And then he borrowed a bike from the Pokemon fan club.
yeah, which apparently was not a good idea whatsoever.
Right.
Uh,
So it must just be a good bike, not a great bike.
yeah,
But
he's trying to.
he's going, and he sees a bunch of people kind of curled around this single person bike bridge, and everybody's waiting to
Yeah,
try and pass, which is what's going to rule out like over half of these people with the time constraint. And he wonders why is it taking so long? This is just a river; people can get across it. And
yeah.
we see that there are a bunch of tentacruel that are actually in the water, and that's
Oh
why
yeah, we
nobody
know what
wants to.
Tentacruel like to do.
Yeah, don't put
For,
them in your
for,
bathtub.
don't put them in your bathtub.
So,
Mm,
um, he believes that's obviously not fair, and we get our first kind of famous. Well, I mean, I guess it's not our first one, but one of our famous like generic people, which is the swimmer,
yeah, yeah,
and he ends up getting on a slowpoke. I think that's what that is. Yeah, and
yeah,
which is a big ass slowpoke. Shit,
yeah.
his bike fits on its back and everything. Holy crap!
How is he like able to like? Do you think he just walks around in that little outfit all the time,
Yeah, that's what they do.
like the swimming trunks and the tag on his front
Yeah, that's
chest?
what they
And
do. Like in the bug people walk around in their stuff too.
you think, yeah, but you think he like chafes when he like is riding that bike?
Probably not. He probably sweats enough that he doesn't have to worry about it.
Like, that just looks uncomfortable,
You're right.
to be
Um,
honest.
so he gets on his slowpoke and starts going across the water, which I think it's kind of weird that we didn't see like an actual fight scene with this because you would think another Pokemon in the water with you would still attack the other Pokemon.
Maybe Slowpoke was moving so fast they couldn't catch him.
I have no idea.
You know.
Um, but then that gives Red an idea. He throws Poliwrath out and
Well,
gets
the swimmer says with obstacles like this, you're allowed to use your Pokemon.
yeah.
So Red gets that
So
idea.
yeah, so we have Poliwrath come out and actually use Ice Beam to make a
I
bridge.
I actually like this scene. I think this scene's really cool how
Oh
it's
yeah,
laid out, and he's like just
I
riding across the ice bridge.
yeah. Which
Yeah,
I
that's,
mean, like that's the stuff that I really like in this manga is seeing people use their powers that aren't they're using their powers and it's not for an actual battle thing.
yeah,
So
yeah. Like he's like riding across, and as he's riding, Poliwrath's on the back, and he's just shooting the ice beam forward. I like at the end where it's like high five, Poliwrath.
yeah,
He's like high
yeah.
five.
So they're riding the bike and everything. They get up to this spot, which you can either go through the woods or
Yes,
around the woods, I guess.
and
The
Red decides,
forest.
hey, we should go through the woods.
Yeah.
But
So
that's
can I
not a good
tell you
idea.
something?
All right.
Whenever I was reading this part, I was thinking of that one thing where it's like, we are going through the woods, on and on
Where's
we
we
go.
go?
Yeah. And I was like, why is that popping in my head
Or
right
into
now?
what was it? Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, we're going through the woods right now. We'll get into the thick of it in a second,
I like
okay?
this part where he's getting ready. He's gets off his bike and he sees is it Bug Catcher?
Yeah, bug catcher.
And Bug Catcher's like spraying bug spray on him. He's like, you don't want to go through this part of the woods because there's a lot of it's infested with like bug Pokemon.
Yeah.
The only way you're gonna get through this is if you're covered in from head to toe in bug spray. And we see Bug Catcher kind of go off, and Ash is like, who needs bug? Who's afraid of some
Which
bugs?
here's the other weird thing. We see bug catcher with a scyther down
Oh yeah, he
in
does
the
have a Scyther.
bottom panel.
He does have
Uh,
a Scyther.
yeah. So what would be really weird is him spraying this stuff. Why wouldn't if it's supposed to repel him, why would your own Pokemon not want to be away from you?
Is Scyther a bug?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe Scyther's used to it. I don't know.
That's so he's just as bad as Lieutenant Surge. Come here, let me spray you in the face till you
Come
get
here, let me
used to
spray you
this
in the
bug.
face with his. And Scyther's probably like, ah!
So there's like
And Scyther,
it's like
Scyther,
Mace.
Scyther can't touch his face because he doesn't have any hands.
That's true. He's probably like, oh no. I would hate that.
But
And then we
I
have
like this. I love this next part where he's like, I got an electric Pokemon that'll fry them all. And Pikachu's like standing on Red's back. And he's just basically a human, like a
yeah.
Pokemon bug zapper.
Let's see what else does he take out. A Butterfree, a Venonet, and a Venomoth.
Yeah. It's funny to see them all getting electrocuted. They're going through it.
Which
And Bulbasaur, I like
I
Bulbasaur.
know we're at another place, but are we still in Verillion City?
I think we're probably outside Verulian,
Or
maybe.
we're in the Verillion Wood, maybe?
Maybe.
Because I'm like, we kind of went through the Verillion Wood before, and then we kind of came back.
Is it the Verulian or the. We were in the Viridian Woods, right?
Yeah.
Or I don't remember.
Wait, what chapter are we on?
12?
Okay. Yeah. It's Viridian and Vermilion.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're on uh, Route 11, 12, and 13.
Uh huh.
So these woods don't actually have a name in them right now.
They're the mysterious bug woods.
It's just Route whatever.
Yeah, and I love this scene where he has Bulbasaur on like his front handlebars, and Bulbasaur's using razor leaf to cut all the shrubs in front of him, which I think is funny. I just think
Yeah,
that's like fucking cool. And then poor Bulbasaur, he gets a Beedrill hive stuck on his head
yeah.
right in through, and he's just covered in all this honey. You know,
Which,
I I feel bad for
uh,
Bulbasaur.
that's true. I mean, especially since he's bathing. Which I wonder how Bulbasaur was so unlucky that he was the only one that got the honey on him.
Yeah,
Because nobody else did,
plot convenience.
probably.
But yeah,
Um,
he essentially from cutting through the woods, he's basically bypassed everybody.
yeah. And we find out from the announcer guy that Swimmer and Bugcatcher are the two people tied for first,
Hmm.
but in third is our boy Red.
Yeah, yeah,
So, which I like how he gets Poliwrath back out and he actually has this vote of confidence, which I don't know
yeah.
why he took him out because the next panel looks like he put him back up.
Oh yeah, it does look like he put him back up.
So,
He's probably just happy to get out of those woods.
well, maybe he put him out so that he could wash the honey off of Bulbasaur.
Maybe.
Maybe he just didn't do such a good job.
Yeah. And
Um,
this is when we find out that they're getting if you win first place, you get a bunch of Pokemon supplies
yeah,
and 10,000 in prize money. It says.
yeah,
And we come to a impasse uh, on Route 12, the fishing pier.
yeah.
Something big is blocking the road.
Which this to me is another part that I'm confused on is because if like this is an impasse part, why couldn't Swimmer just hop on a Pokemon and go around him?
That's true.
Like that doesn't. I mean, unless there was a sign or something we missed that said, "Oh,
You can't use your Pokemon or something. Because the,
yeah,
the the guy at the beginning kind of says, he's like, "Oh, there's something on the route, but I'm not going to tell you what that is."
right,
Like he already
yeah,
knew the Snorlax was there.
right." But they get to this Snorlax and they're trying to figure that out. It says, "Looks like we're all tied for nothing. We can't get past this," and it's really weird because it's a boulder, and Ash Red gets closer, goes, "Oh no, this is a giant Snorlax."
Yeah, he's asleep,
Yeah,
and like
which
nothing's going to wake him up. And
that
this,
must not be very comfortable because you see how he's hanging off of the dock.
yeah, but I mean it's Snorlax. He can sleep through anything.
their, their Snorlax is floating out in the ocean and they're
Yeah,
still asleep.
but like he's like they can sleep forever. Nothing wakes them up.
What if Snorlaxes were like otters, and
Oh,
you had a bunch of them that fell asleep in the ocean, but they locked hands so they wouldn't fall drift away from each. There's a big ass island coming to
wasn't
us.
wasn't
There's
there
big
one
ass
episode?
island.
Wasn't there one episode where like he Ash uses Snorlax in like a swimming competition,
I think there is.
and like he uses like surf?
I think so.
Am I just imagining that?
No, I think that's a real thing.
Okay, okay, okay. I
But
mean,
then we have this part where he's like, Polyrath, you'll be able to defeat him. I choose you. Get him.
yeah, I love it.
And
He rushes up to him, and he you can take
yeah,
the
like
pressure.
football rushes. And then nothing just boing.
I like this. He just bounces,
And then
bounces right
he's
off.
doing it. Like he does it again and again
Yeah,
and nothing keeps happening.
yeah, and they're like, "Oh, I don't think the other two, bug catcher and swimmer, are like, I don't think." It's like, don't you think we tried that?
Yeah. But it's a
No
good
matter
thing. it's a good thing that Red has his handy dandy Pokédex.
Pokédex,
Yeah,
and he finds out that Snorlax needs food to wake up, and he's like, food, hmm, where do I can get food? And this part is so funny. Like I laughed out loud when I saw this part. Where he's like, "Hey Snorlax, how about a snack?" And
yeah.
He puts Bulbasaur in front of Snorlax.
It's a
He's like,
honey covered Bulbasaur.
it's a honey covered Bulba, and I love this part where he's like holding him. He's like, "Hey, you want this Bulbasaur?" And the two trainers in the back, Bug Catcher and Swimmer, are like, "What?" They're like freaking out. Like, are we actually going to see this Bulbasaur get eaten? And, and Bulbasaur's like, "What the fuck? Are you going to fucking
Yeah,
use me as a snack?" He's like, "Don't worry, Bulbasaur. It's okay. I won't let
yeah.
that happen to you."
Which I like this look on Snorlax's face. It's like, oh, what?
Well, I never
And
had a
then
Bulbasaur
he goes,
before.
"Are you sure you don't want this Beedrill, honey?" And then we get like we get Snorlax with like a really big look on his face, like I wouldn't say like angry, but like intimidating or determined.
I think he's very determined. He's like, "I want that
He's
honey."
yeah, and he's like his mouth is drooling, so it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Here we go, Lax.
We have them approaching the finish line, and we see the announcer. He's announcing them. He's like, "I can see the leaders approaching. You can't make it out yet. But let's see what we can see. And all we see is Red riding his bike for his life,
Well, I
and
like how the announcer guy doesn't even know, and he goes, "That's not a bike."
yeah, and so he's riding his bike, uh, like vigorously, and all we see behind him is a big giant Snorlax just running, licking his lips, like, I'm gonna give you that honey. Come here,
Yeah,
boy. I love this scene, and like, I think Snorlax does get it because Bulbasaur is all clean at the end, so I think he does get the honey. I think he probably just licks it off of Bulbasaur.
maybe. But all
Yeah.
the 10,000 in prize money that was supposed to go to Red ends up all getting spent on, I presume, just berries and stuff, berries and cream
Berries and
for
cream,
for
berries and
for
cream.
Snorlax.
Yeah. This scene's really funny because like he's like, "Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, he's like, I needed
Which
that money."
do we ever figure out what this little ring is that the Pokemon are kind of
No.
running around?
I figured it maybe was like a tool of some kind, or maybe he won it because of the bike race, maybe?
Okay, because I was wondering what that was, or if it was like a collar that might have been like on Snorlax, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. They don't really say, to be exact. I mean, we don't
But
see a collar on Snorlax. Maybe it was just something that was in the
right.
prizes.
But this is our first chapter where it's kind of weird, everybody listening, that we don't actually have anything alluding to the next chapter.
Yes.
Everything else is kind of giving us a little like, this is what's going to happen next time, or it's giving us a little sneak peek in it. At the end of this one, we don't have anything. So it's almost like there's a break in what's supposed to happen at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Most definitely.
but we have gotten the Snorlax already.
Yeah, he does get
Um,
captured. We just
which, like
see
you
it off
said,
panel.
he was captured because I was questioning if he actually got captured or not,
Yeah.
um, or if he just is feeding the Snorlax. You never know. Um,
I
but
think he fed him and like throw a Pokeball at him while he was eating.
hopefully,
You know.
maybe he's like, since I fed you and everything, you'll go ahead and let me catch you,
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm
right?
guessing because by spoilers, by the end of this series, Snorlax is on his team. You
Right,
know.
and that was the thing I was confused about, if this was that Snorlax or if it wasn't that Snorlax.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
he's one of his
we won't
six.
find out for a little while.
Yeah, he's one of the six Pokemon that he
The
captures.
6 finalists.
The 6 finalists.
So,
Yeah,
but this chapter was really good. I fully enjoyed it. I mean, especially how everything was set up and the trials and tribulations that supposedly you're not supposed to be able to get around
yeah,
unless you're a specialist like swimmer or bug catcher.
yeah,
And it just goes to show you that when you have people like even gym leaders that specialize in one type of Pokemon, it doesn't really help you out.
yeah.
So, Pokemon trainer are kind of the elite of the elite with everything. Um,
Well, it's kind of like you almost don't want to specialize in one type of Pokemon,
that's true.
you know. But yeah, I enjoyed this one wholeheartedly. I thought it was fun. It was funny. There were things that I didn't expect to happen in it that happened. With the whole Bulbasaur getting it offered as a sacrifice or as tribute.
Right.
To the Snorlax. And
And it had one of your favorite Pokemon in it.
yeah, Snorlax was in it. And too bad we didn't get to see him battle yet. And fight. He was just being a fat ass like always.
Isn't that what he's always like?
Yeah, but I like it when Snorlax actually gets serious in battles as well.
Yeah,
You,
which
you know,
we'll see that later on because in there
yeah,
like the championship tournament that happens too that we'll
yeah,
see.
something like that. That's later on though.
Which that'll be fun. That's some of the most amazing parts in this series is
Yeah,
getting to see those.
yeah, I enjoyed it. It was
Um,
just like a little breather before we get into the next chapter, which is kind of serious a little bit.
right, and I'm glad that it actually stopped instead of kind of saying, "Oh, hey, well, this is kind of what you're getting into in the next chapter."
Yeah, it's just a
So,
little short like
which that brings
story.
up a point. Do you feel like the person was on a roll up to that point, maybe? Because, like our first 3 to 5 chapters aren't connected either. And then
I
we
think
kind of go with like a line of about 7 of them being connected, and then it drops back off.
I think like it was very much like episodic at the
Yeah.
beginning, and like it's giving us these little breadcrumbs of something, but we don't know exactly what.
I wonder if they had it as like a little story arc.
Yeah,
Like
and then
like
like
not for us how it was broken out, but
yeah,
for the person. They were like, "All right, to this month I'm going to try and do chapters duh through duh and work them into each other."
yeah, like I think it like after these next couple chapters we're gonna get into something. It's gonna build up to something.
Right?
Uh, you
Which
know,
stay tuned because we have these two other chapters for this book coming up that we're going to cover, and then the very last one, or the very last chapter of this book, will actually be paired that week with the first chapter of book 2. So
yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be
I mean,
or part 2 of Omnibus 1.
I feel like it's kind of like a lot of like how the anime is kind of structured as well. Like it's very episodic at the beginning, and then towards the end, you like get like a focused story.
Yeah,
Like you get like the little. I mean, it's also based on a game, so
that's true.
and the games have been are kind of light on story sometimes. You
Yeah,
kind of have
which
to.
I feel like we've covered a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Like I feel like we covered a lot, even though it is episodic.
yeah,
But it has kind of all sort of been connected together because it is Red's journey.
right.
You know.
So,
Yeah.
and we'll still get to see a little bit more of red here soon. I think we'll see a little bit more of blue. But then when we get into the next book, we'll actually meet our third character, which is green.
I'm
And
actually excited.
hopefully,
I'm actually really excited to get to Green
me too.
because a lot of people really like Green.
Yeah. And I mean, not only that, but we'll actually get to meet Squirtle or one of the evolutions of Squirtle when we get there as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be another good, fun thing for that as we get there. But
Yeah,
Um,
this was a fun chapter.
yeah.
This
So
was a
we'll
fun
have
one.
to
Even though
see.
we kind of say that about all of them, but I
That's
thought this
true.
one was really fun.
Well, that's true. I feel like it's kind of like a is it a 5, a 4, or a 3? Like, we don't really have 1s and 2s on the Pokemon chapters.
Yeah.
It's 3, 4, or 5. 5 is like somebody evolved and a lot of good stuff happened, an epic battle. That's a 5. A 3 is just, oh, well, it kind of got you from space A to space B.
Yeah.
And then 4 is kind of like, it might have been one of those that it was space A to space B, but you had like something epic happen right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing with Snorlax for this one. So I'd probably say like if we were rating chapters, I'd probably say this one's like a 4.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it, you know.
So
It gets a 4, you know. I know we haven't really like rated these podcasts, you know, uh with that
we don't
aspect.
have to. I'm just saying, that's
Yeah.
kind of how it seems like in my mind how we cover them out and
We're
stuff.
kind of just covering the journey itself and just discussing it,
Yeah.
really. Yeah.
But as always, guys, thanks for listening to Gotta Read 'em All, a Pokemon podcast. We hope that you stick around and listen to our other ones. If this is your first one that you're listening to, go back and check out some of the older ones because obviously these do build off of each other. Um, thanks for listening. And as always, like we like to say on the podcast or all of our podcasts, see you next Tuesday.
Suck on my chocolate Pokeballs.
Pokeballs!
Stick 'em in